Much, Speaker. My question is as well to the Minister of Energy. Good morning, Minister. Earlier today you confirmed, I think, what is the worst kept secret in Ontario right now, and that is you are going to announce the long-term energy plan the day before the Premier is set to appear again before the Justice Committee probing the gas plant. So it's an obvious distraction. I note also that last week, calm down, I note also that last week in speaking to the press, the Minister suggested his long-term plan would be, quote, short-term in nature. So with that contradiction alone, it is very hard to take this Minister's long-term energy plan seriously. So let's consider what the last LTEP had in it. It had a rigid adherence to wind energy that has cost this province dearly, particularly the ratepayer. Then it planned for 2 gas plants, which they later cancelled for political decisions.
Question.
Now we have OPG asking for another 30% rate increase. Speaker, I asked the Minister a very serious question. Is there any reason that Hines and others are leaving this province?
Thank you. Minister of Energy.
Mr. Speaker, sometimes questions come from the opposition that are quite uninformed. And I'm pleased that the critic chose to use the Hines example. Because, Mr. Speaker, the Hines facility in Leamington, Ontario, has a 7-megawatt cogeneration plant located on site. Mr. Speaker, it's generating its own electricity under our system at very, very cheap prices, Mr. Speaker.
Exactly.
They're not on the grid. Mr. Speaker, it's uninformed, as all of her comments and her question are uninformed. Mr. Speaker, we've come from a deficit that they've created to a surplus. We've come from dirty generation to clean generation. Mr. Speaker, their record is a disgrace. Our record is laudable, Mr. Speaker.
Be seated, please. Be seated, please. Supplementary.
Speaker, the truth hurts, the facts hurt deeper.
Stop the clock. Order. I can't hear when you heckle either. Well, no, that's my job. You're not getting the last word either. No, you're not. If you say it again, I will warn you. I don't need challenges here. Supplementary, please.
He bungles and he blusters this entire energy file, but if he won't take my word for it, why don't we talk about the report released yesterday from the Canadian Vehicle Manufacturer?
From Sudbury, come to order.
I'm just going to let their quotes speak for themselves, Speaker. More recently, a combination of factors, not of which is the least of the revised policy goals that converge to make Ontario rates higher than competing jurisdictions. For example, electricity costs for a typical large-scale assembly operation in the United States South or Midwest are estimated to be as much as a $5 million bill lower than those in Ontario. A penalty, Speaker, that they say is now well known to decision makers. Further, they say, for example, Toronto large power users pay 123% more than Chicago consumers, 50% more than Nashville, and 37% more than Detroit. Why are they running businesses out of this province?
Be seated, please. Be seated, please. Thank you. The member from Durham will come to order. The member from... Yeah, I know what it is. I know what it is. I'm giving him time to contemplate. The member from Stormont, Dundas, Glengarry, come to order. You guys haven't got the message. I'll have to be even tougher. Please, Minister of Energy.
Mr. Speaker, again, the premises of her questions are very false, Mr. Speaker. You know, we talk about Hines, when we talk about energy prices in the United States, they blame the closure of Hines on energy. At the same time, Mr. Speaker, 2 Hines manufacturing facilities were closed the same day in the United States. Correct. Mr. Speaker. So they want to use the United States as a good example, but, Mr. Speaker, they have no credibility in terms of what they're saying. Mr. Speaker, we have created a reliable system of electricity. Mr. Speaker, we've made huge investments in the sector because of their deficit. And, Mr. Speaker, yes, it put pressure on prices. But in the meantime, we have created programs that ameliorate the pricing, Mr. Speaker. For industrial consumers, we've created the Industrial Conservation Initiative. We've created the Industrial Electricity Incentive Program. We've created the Northern Industrial Electricity Rate Program, Mr. Speaker. And with respect to Cliffs, Mr. Speaker, we put something on the table that was very, very agreeable and acceptable, Mr. Speaker, with respect to energy.
Your question, the member from